A day for the defense to shine. Mike Petraglia outside Paycor Stadium where the sun is shining, but earlier in the afternoon here on Monday, it was raining cats and dogs. It was raining very heavily. The field got very wet, but the Bengals continued to work out, getting some wet field practice in. Very valuable for a lot of teams to get inclement weather conditions replicated during training camp. Of course, they'll do it during the regular season, but when it happens in training camp and teams are getting their conditioning in, all the better for head coaches and assistants to try and see what their players can do in inclement conditions. And here on Monday, it was definitely the defense with the better performance. First of all, Trey Hendrickson had a very nice tip pass and interception return off a pass from Jake Browning, who got most of the work with the ones in the first half of the practice, 11 on 11. And also there were a couple of pass breakups on the outside. It was Ja'Marr Chase being covered again by Cam Taylor-Britt, at least going down the right side, as Cam Taylor-Britt has not been traveling that much from side to side in this camp. As a matter of fact, haven't seen him travel at all. It has been the other cornerback on the right-hand side. That would be normally Chido Awuzie's spot here on Monday afternoon. DJ Turner got a couple of reps at that spot, and it was interesting to see DJ Turner in one-on-one coverage against Ja'Marr Chase doing also a very commendable job. So the defense did a really good job. One other thing I should mention before I forget, and that is the Bengals showed some pressure looks here on Monday afternoon, and they were able to get to the quarterbacks, and that is very significant because it disrupted the tempo of the offense. The whistles blew several times on quarterbacks Trevor Siemian and Jake Browning before they could get a pass off. So good pressure from the defense, really at all three levels here on Monday afternoon. The biggest news came about three-quarters of the way through practice when a Trevor Siemian, Jake Browning pass, I should say, went down the right sideline for T. Higgins. T. Higgins went up and he could not come down with it. He collided when he fell to the ground with Nick Scott coming over from the middle of the field to give Cam Taylor-Britt some help. Cam Taylor-Britt and Nick Scott collided with T. Higgins. Cam Taylor-Britt and T. Higgins got up a little bit slowly, had to shake it off a little bit more. T. Higgins did not practice the rest of the camp practice here on Monday afternoon. That was really only about 20 more minutes, so not that significant. And most importantly, after practice, T. Higgins met with reporters and said it was just a minor thing, fell awkwardly on his knees, but he was able to get up, jog off the field, got some stretching done on the sideline, and he should be good to go for the rest of the week. One other thing T. Higgins said here on Monday afternoon, very, very passionate man about his teammates, Tyler Boyd and Ja'Marr Chase, calling them brothers so tight that it seemed like they came from their same mama. And that's how he regards the relationship he has with Tyler Boyd and Ja'Marr Chase. He underscored that a couple of times. Dan Horde of the Bengals TV network, and of course the outstanding play-by-play man of the Bengals radio network, was the one to ask T. Higgins that question here on Monday afternoon after practice, and elicited, I think, one of the best, most genuine, heartfelt answers you'll hear anyone in that Bengal locker room ever utter, and it was uttered today by T. Higgins. In terms of who might play, who might not play, Zach Taylor said, or at least indicated, there was a good chance some more starters will play here on Friday night in Atlanta when the Bengals travel to play the Falcons. Only two real regulars got into play on last Friday night against Green Bay. That was safety Dax Hill and edge Joseph Osai. They got a good deal of playing time in the first quarter, into the second quarter a little bit, and then they came out of the game. So that's something to keep an eye on. How many starters will play for the Bengals here on Saturday night, on Friday night, I should say, on both sides of the ball? Who will be the quarterback? Zach Taylor did indicate that he expects Trevor Siemian to get the call in the first half. Last week it was Jake Browning taking first half snaps, and Trevor Siemian into the second half took care of business there. Looks like it will be switched this Friday night in Atlanta. We'll have you completely covered all week long. The Bengals have the day off on Tuesday. Players have a day off, then they're back at it, likely in full pads again on Wednesday. Players meet, and then they travel to Atlanta on Thursday with no practice, and then the game on Friday. We'll have you covered on Twitter at Trags, Trags, as well as clnsmedia.com. Be sure to check out all my online content there. And as always, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube page, youtube.com/@Jungle Roar Pod. Outside Paycor Stadium, Mike Petraglia, CLNS Media.